Staying abroad for a while means you will have the need not only to communicate with your beloved ones and with your home university and institutions, but also be able to communicate within your host country with host institutions and your new local friends. Furthermore, it's nowadays very common to have security protocols to respect in case of mobility for study, trainship or research, since most universities are very into security topics of their outgoing students and personnel. These security protocols usually ask students and professors to be constantly in contact with the home institutions, meant as in terms of home university, as in terms of governmental institutions like consulates, embassies and other representatives in the host country. The University of Bologna, for instance, asks their students to inform the international office about their foreign address and contact data, such as local telephone number and other email address apart from the institutional one, and so on and so forth, in order to be able to contact them at any time in case of emergency like terrorist attacks or natural disaster. In addition, these security protocols usually ask students to register their data and the dates of their mobility abroad on the website of their country's Foreign Affairs Ministry, in order to be always reachable also by the governmental authorities in case of need. In this section, we'll see some solutions to be easily connected at reasonable cost not only with your home country but also within your host country. Of course, the device all of us will need to use as soon as the plane lands in the host country is our cell phone or smartphone. Always check the roaming charges of your national phone company. Subscribe an option for traveling abroad which include flat rates for abroad connections in order to be reachable at the very first moment in which you arrive at the host country. But in any case, be aware about your network accessibility in the host company and its cost. To turn off the data connection is always a good idea if you have a smartphone and if you are not sure about the connection cost. It will avoid to run out of money even without using the network. Be aware that cell phone frequencies vary from country to country, and in many countries, cell phone data networks, Wi-Fi access and high-speed internet can be less common or much more expensive than in your home country. Buying a local SIM when you arrive at your destination can be the cheapest way to get online, but make sure that your smartphone is SIM lock-free and it runs with other SIM cards other than the ones from your network operator. There are websites very useful to find out the mobile operators in your destination and compare the cost among them. Another option can be to use a global SIM, an international SIM card, which seems to be 90% cheaper than standard roaming charges. Not as cheap as a local card, but it is a multi-country card, so you can keep the same number wherever you are. Cost of calls, text and data is still different depending on the country you are in. Wi-Fi is the best option to be able to use the same devices and communication means you usually use at home. If free Wi-Fi is not an option, you could think about signing up with a local wireless network, which is much more cost-effective than paying for roaming charges. Another option can be to purchase a MiFi device. MiFi is a brand name used to describe a wireless router that acts as mobile Wi-Fi hotspot. So, they are mobile Wi-Fi devices that use a SIM card to provide internet wherever you go. Some of them come without SIM card, but you can simply purchase an extra SIM card. They constitute a great way to stay constantly connected and with all your devices. Once you are connected through the cheapest solution, you can use social networks to keep in contact with your family and friends from home, but also to connect with your peers, with the host institutions, with the expat community and so on. For example, you can use them to join groups on the respective social sites that can be very useful to enhance your network and knowledge in your study destination and to improve your language and cultural skills of that country. Be aware that some countries officially ban some social networks or their access could be made difficult due to the governmental reduction of the internet speed. Manage to know in advance if in your host country there are social networks which can be used more than the ones you are used in your home country. For example, while in Europe or US, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter could be considered the most popular ones, Russian or Chinese people are probably most used to other kinds of social media.